Hello everyone! Today I'm showcasing a wool farm, and the way automatic wool farms work is they shear the sheep with dispensers and then collect their wool. The best way to detect, as you saw just then, the best way to detect when a sheep's wool has grown is by detecting when it eats grass, because it always grows wool after it eats grass. And if you detect that with an observer facing at the block of dirt, this one here, if you face that at the block of dirt, you can detect when it eats the grass, and then that will send a signal to the dispenser that will shear its wool. And then you can collect that wool with a hopper minecart, send that into a chest. So with those basic principles, you can make a wool farm like this. This will give you every single colour of wool you can get, all 16 colours. It'll pick it up with this hopper minecart and it'll send it into this chest, so you can have all this wool slowly being collected over time. There's already a few stacks worth of wool here, and this has only been going since I started setting up this stuff for the video. So yeah, it's not slow, it's kind of slow. So yeah, this is the cheapest one. But if you want a really good design that's really easy to use, this one will automatically restock the dispensers with shears, because they'll break after a while. So you need something to restock the shears. And this one you can just fill up a chest with the shears, and then the minecart will just go around replenishing all the shears in this. So all you have to do is put some shears in there every now and again, and this wool farm will just go all the time. And each one of these sheep is directly hooked up to its own chest, so you don't have to worry about all the wool getting mixed up in one chest. It's all organized like this. So I'm going on to the building part of the video now, so I'm going to show you how to build these machines. Only this one and this one. That one's pretty obvious how you build it. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with a double chest, and then you're going to place 2 hoppers onto that. And then you're going to build out with just a normal block, I like to use polished andesite, but you can use whatever block you want. You probably use stone or cobblestone or something. You're going to build from these hoppers 8 blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. Yep. And you're going to want to build 8 blocks out in the other direction. And then fill this whole bit in. And on top of that, you're going to want to place minecart rails. So you're going to want some powered rails here, and some normal rails here. And then I like to use levers to power minecart rails, because they're really cheap. So you just put them on the side of the block the powered rail is sitting on, and then switch the lever on. And then after that, you're going to want to get some grass and cover up all of this with grass. You could cover it with dirt and then spread grass to it later, but if you've got a silk touch shovel or something, it's pretty easy to get lots of grass. And once it looks like this, you're going to want to place the observers down. You need 8 on each side, and they need to be 1 apart. And then once you've got the observers down, like this, then you're going to want to put the blocks behind them. Any types of building blocks, and you're going to want to put some redstone on top of them, and it should look like this. Now what you're going to need to do is place dispensers. These are the dispensers that are going to have the shears inside of them and shear the sheep, and they have to be placed on top of the observers, facing inwards like this. And now once you've placed the dispensers, you're going to go along and put glass in this pattern, this sort of zigzaggy pattern, so that it leaves a gap in front of the dispenser for the sheep. This is where the sheep's going to go, in these gaps here. And then you're going to place glass on top of the dispensers, just 1. and it'll look like this. Okay, so now we're going to place the trapdoors. The trapdoors will help get the sheep in. So we'll place these blocks here. These are going to be broken later, these blocks. They're just to put the trapdoors on. So you place them on the lower half of the block, and then it puts it like that. And then you can break the block that you placed it on, and it'll go like that. And once you've broken those blocks away, it should look like this. Now we don't need them closed at the moment, because we're going to put the sheep in, we're going to need them up. Okay, so now it's ready to put the sheep in. Now that can be quite hard. It's easy and creative to get the sheep in there, but in survival it's not so easy. I would suggest grabbing some leads. They help quite a bit. Building some sort of staircase up to here. So something like this. Just to help get the sheep up to the level of the farm. Okay, so then what you'll do is you'll just put the sheep on a leash and you'll pull it up here and try and just try and get it in. It's hard. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to say it's easy to get the sheep in. That's probably the hardest part of the whole build. They don't like to go in the hole. They fall down all the time. I can't even be bothered showing it on the video, so I'll just spawn the sheep in their holes. It's easier. So yeah, once you've got the sheep in, you can break away your staircase, and then now you can dye your sheep. You can dye them whatever colour you want. If you're building this design, it's got 16 compartments for sheep. You may as well have one for each of the different colours, but I suppose if you wanted to, you could just dye them all black, if you just like lots of black wool. And then what you're going to do after that is you're going to close all the trapdoors, because these don't need to be open anymore. And after that, there's only a few more things you'll need to do. You need to make some shears. So this is quite an expensive part of this farm, is that it needs shears. And no matter what automatic wool farm you build, it's basically always going to need shears. So you've got to put all the shears in all the dispensers. And once you've done that, now the sheep will start being sheared. Once they start eating grass, they'll start getting sheared. Like this one just ate some grass and got sheared. Now you need to grab a hopper minecart and push it along, and now it's finished. Now if you want to upgrade it to this design, there's a few extra steps. So instead of glass above the dispensers, to build the second design, you would have placed hoppers. And then once you've got those hoppers down above the dispensers, you'd place blocks in this pattern around it, just to make a nice track for the minecart to drive along. And then you're going to place a power rail right there, and minecart tracks going along here. You're going to want a powered rail right here and right here. And another powered rail just here. So 4 powered rails on this top minecart track. And it just loops around the whole thing over all the poppers like that. And then you're going to place a chest up here. And you're going to put a redstone block over each of these. There's not really a good spot to put a lever just here, because if you put a lever on that block and turn it on, it'll stop these hoppers from working properly. So you have to place something above it. So I like to just place a redstone block. I suppose if you wanted to, you could also put blocks like this, and then place levers on them and turn them on. That works too. But yeah, I like to use redstone blocks because it's easier and it looks nicer. And then you place a minecart, a hopper minecart like this, and then you'll fill this chest up with shears, and then you're going to place levers on this block, and this block, to turn those minecart tracks on, those powered rails on, and then that's the top section done. And now for under here, this is where it gets a bit more complicated. So basically all this section here, it all needs to go For this design, we're sorting it all into its individual chests, so we don't want a minecart putting everything in the same chest because that makes it annoying to sort through it all. So to get the wool from each sheep to go into an individual chest, you need to go under here, and you need to just place chests like this. You just place 16 of these double chests. And then you're going to go along and you're going to make sure that you place a hopper on top of the chest, right underneath where the sheep is, so right here. And then because the next one goes that way slightly, it goes this way, you're going to need to place a hopper on this one. And just do that same zigzaggy pattern like you did with the glass, to make sure that there's a hopper underneath each sheep. So then once you have that, you need to go along and place minecart tracks on each of these hoppers. And then you need to place minecart hoppers on each of those minecart tracks. Now these minecarts can slide around, so like if I push this one, it'll like slide off like that, and you don't want that happening. So what you need to do is you need to place blocks around these. It's like this. So you'll start off going like this, and you'll just place it in between them all like that. And then once you've finished like that, then you'll do it like this, underneath the observer, and that'll box them in. And once you've finished this side, then you do the same on the other side, just here. And once that's done, you shouldn't be able to see the minecarts anymore. I mean, you can see the edges, but if you can see a face of a minecart like this, it can probably come off the tracks, so you just want to box that in to make sure it can't move. And yeah, so that's the finished design. If you build multiple of these, I mean if you build 2, it's twice as fast as if you just build 1, so if you want more, we'll just build more of these machines. But anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like more redstone videos like this, then leave a comment saying what other redstone machines you'd like to see. And I'll see you in another video. Bye!